It's fun going at you with another game, Final Fantasy VI, my favorite game. And this should be the finish. Here we have Shadow. So before we go to the very final dungeon, there's just a couple things we have to do. One of them is to sleep in some inns with Shadow. Not a free one, right? Gotta pay. And then we should see some bits of his history, which of course I already know, but we'll be able to read over. And along the way, we'll stop up. Morning, Ellie. And along the way, we'll also stop in and, see if there's some relics we want to pick up. Or, yeah, so here, we've got 8 Hermes Ambles. We'll just get 12 of them on the grounds that I might want that many. And the rest of these we won't need. We've got very, very good relics now. But, oh yes, this is an inn, so we're about to learn some stuff about Shadow for the first time. I mean, in the video, I already know. I know all there is to know. The game gives you a couple immense hints, but the biggest of them is that there is this relic called the Memento Ring, and there are 2 of them in the game. It says a ring blessed by a departed mother's love, and you can't get killed, petrified zombie. The only 2 characters in the game that can equip it are Shadow and Realm, which the game tells you who can equip an item, right? So they're the only 2 who can wear it. And we know that Interceptor doesn't like anybody, but loves Realm. To the point where Shadow had to, get him to come back. But what we need to do now is just sleep here again, I think. Sometimes you just gotta, sleep a bunch for Shadow to have a dream? Is that true? Do we need an open spot? I kind of thought he just had a dream if you laid down. Well, we'll go somewhere else and try it. Maybe we need an open, maybe Realm Spear? I don't know. I really thought that was just gonna be fine. It's okay. We'll go somewhere else. But, I don't think it's supposed to happen every time you lay down, but it doesn't happen in, Figaro for whatever reason. Now, the Enhancer's one of the great swords, so they're the only 3 that can wear one, so we have our 3. One of my favorite items in the game, and accessible very early. What we want to do here is buy, 1 more diamond shield, because I'm sure somebody is wearing, a crummy little shield. We have 12 characters that need to be outfitted. Now, you can, swap their gear around repeatedly. That's not the way of the gentleman. The way of the gentleman is for everyone to have gear before you go into the final dungeon. It's how much do you want to suspend the idea that they're just, teleporting your stuff from one place to the next, Anyway, we're gonna buy an amount of ethers. 99 of them, no, that's excessive. We won't use that many. We'll buy, 30 of them. We very well might use them. And then we need to buy, a chunk of tents. 30 should do. Probably don't need that many Phoenix Downs, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's a party. Where we're going, we won't need roads, because there are no more roads where we're going. It's just Kefka's tower, right? So we need plenty of tents in case we want to do a little bit of leveling before one of the fights, which is, I must confess, relatively unlikely. We didn't level a ton last night, just a couple of times, right? We're in the mid-30s at the highest, 38 or so. And, but we did, this morning I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, and we unlocked the Paladin Shield. So the Paladin Shield you get by wearing the Cursed Shield for 255 fights. I knew we were nowhere close to there, and I didn't want to fight for 2 hours on stream doing random battles, and also it would have leveled up too much, but I decided to We'll talk about how to level it up later in the best way, but this increases your defense evasion, magic defense, and magic evasion by a ton. It's the best shield in the entire game. It is super excellent. But 255 fights is a lot. You can only get it after you get lock. So if you get lock very early, which is the thing that I would normally try to do, because it also lets you get access to Ultima very early, you can start there. But we got lock kind of late, and 255 fights is a whole lot of fights. It's, you know, it's exactly 255 fights. That's how many it sounds like. I'm like, no, we don't care to fight there, actually. We could try to win a fight at the Coliseum real quick. No, there's nothing we really need to do there. Could we get a dream there? That's a question. We're just gonna go to this town, though. So this is all very important stuff, right? Because we're also, you know, stocking up. We need to get more shuriken, probably. Sometimes I'm like, well, all I have is 100 of an item. That won't be enough. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, I'm gonna become superstitious. And we'll just take the people that are the most relevant, and maybe that'll trigger a dream. For all I know, you're supposed to have room with them, I just usually keep them in the party anyway. Here we go. I did it! Clyde, how could you? I was your partner. You should be here with me. Join me, Clyde. Spooky. I'm like, give us another one. I don't think you have to, like, leave the inn for it. Here we go. Here we go. Yahoo, we did it, Clyde. 1,000,000 gil. What a blast. This is the life. Guess it's time we thought of a name, huh? A name, says Clyde. Baron says, all good bandit duos need a name. I sort of have one in mind. Clyde says, well, let's hear it. The Shadow Bandits. What do you think? Not bad, huh? The Shadow Bandits. Great train robbers of the century. Clyde says, open your eyes. Baron says, how bad is it? This isn't my blood, is it, Clyde? Clyde says, don't worry, you're going to be okay. I'm sorry, I let my guard down. Clyde says, don't talk, the town's just a bit farther. You don't have to pretend, I know. This is my blood, isn't it? I'm done for. Bam says, get going, leave me here, I'd only slow you down. But, you know, not that energetically, because he's dying. Clyde says, but you want to get caught. Bam says, before you go, I have a favor to ask. Please finish me off with your knife. How could you ask me to do something like that? Bam says, you know what they'll do to me if they catch me alive? I don't want to have to go through that. Touch my arm. Feel it shaking. I've never been afraid in my life. And now I'm quivering like a leaf. Please, before I wet myself and have to die a coward, just take your knife and... I can't do it! Clyde. Clyde says, I'm sorry. Clyde, how could you? Well, to be fair, that is the kind of thing that you're supposed to have like kind of a prior arrangement about. In the heat of the moment, you can't be sure how somebody's going to react. It's a big ask. But there's one more dream, right? And then I think the fifth one is at Tomasa, but you can't have these there. Dog. Woman says, hey, are you all right? Where am I? In a small village called Sa. Come on now, pull yourself together. Yeah, and I think that's the last one here. But my memory is obviously a little shaky on we're just gonna hit like 3, and then I think that's the final one, and we go to Tomasa for the final dream though. It's just been ages. Because you're supposed to sleep in inns with Shadow, dozens of times in order to get these dreams if you're doing this naturally, but in my experience, one rarely goes to inns past the beginning of the game. You get your stuff on the airship, which is useful enough, and we totally don't need high potions. I think we just bounce over to Tomasa. Oh no, not dogs. What'll we ever do? I'm just kidding. Strago's a beast now because we got like 8 levels on him while he had an Esper for plus. So, we're not gonna prove it with a knife there, but these are like pretty early in the world enemies, right? Yeah, so Strago now, Realm, 70 magic, bonkers high, 69 on Strago, right? We got him his levels. The lower level somebody is, whenever you start leveling up, the better, because when you're focused on the levels, you just leave the Esper on, right? And then you pump them. But Shadow's a beast, he didn't get very many of the levels there, because he was... Mainly it was just a couple levels on Strago and Setzer, who we still neglected, but what we're going to do now is run to Tomasa, and then we just have a couple more stops to make. They'll be short ones. The other one, this one will actually have like story stuff. The other ones that we'll be making will be more symbolic, but are no less important for that. Yeah, I'm like, and circlets are actually very good, and we should probably get, like 8 of them? No. I mean, you drop Magic Evade, but you get, you know... Yeah, so for the Veils worse, yeah, I think we chose a decent number. We probably don't even need as many as we got, but yeah, it'll be nice here. Boom. Yeah, I think that was a good number. Yeah, awesome. We only have one left over. So we're about to not need money, but there's a relic on Setzer where you throw a bunch of money at people, which is just so epic, right? And we're gonna get like a couple 15 smoke bombs. Cause sometimes you want a smoke bomb, right? It's a super effective way of leaving battles. But, you know, Shadow's here now. Oh, there's something neat. And he's like, there's an island here. And this is the guy that sends you to Go-Go. But anyway, as we're waiting for him to show us this, so we are now coming at the end of Shadow's little arc, you know. We're learning who he actually is, you know. He was a great train robber. Whenever I think of train robbers, I think of Shadow, you know. Him and Butch Cassidy. Wonder what would happen. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Yes, indeed. But I think we'll have a dream here now. But you can't have them here normally until you get to this point. I think... Or maybe we don't get one at all. Like, I really thought there was another one, but I've been wrong like a million times before. We're gonna try like once or twice more. After all, it's only a gill. Anyway, I thought I remember being another. But anyway, there's gotta be another one. I thought there was. Did I just imagine the last one where you find out that he's definitely Realm's father? And I show up dressed in all black. He's like, he said he was going to the Coliseum. I'm like, I am the man in black. He's me. But yeah, so anyway, we're just gonna get to it. And by that, I mean, make our symbolic stops. Alright, so Shadow's Rome's dad, and he just left the mother there because he was a lone rebel and a criminal on the run. And, you know, I don't think we think he bonked his head. He just, like, you know, this is who he is, right? But we need to go say goodbye to the kiddos. You always gotta say bye with Tara, right? Because she doesn't know if she's gonna make it out. And we don't know either. It says, we'll be alright. We'll be okay. We're tough. I'm not gonna cry. I don't want to make Mama sad. Now it's time to go. Music in this game's too good. Because Terra is like what I consider to be one of the two central characters of the narrative, with Celis being the other one, right? Like they're our first point of views in the respective worlds, and they're the ones that I've always, thought were the game was about, although it's an ensemble cast, like they're the ones that I always identified with the most, cared the most about. And what I love about Terra's character is how little she understands of the world, and how she just decides to be good anyway. Because plenty of powerful people in this setting don't choose that. And they have a whole life to figure out who they're going to be. But one more stop to make. So this is actually the island where you grind the Paladin Shield. We'll just explain how for a brief moment. If you are being frustrated by the Cursed Shield, this is what you do. You show up here, you just do something, you watch a video, you watch TV. They take 1 damage casually, and then they die, giving you a magic AP and counting a fight. And that's literally all you do, is you walk up and down here without paying attention. You just move the cursor around, and that's how you get your Paladin Shield. You could just also equip it for 255 fights, but like I said, we got it a little late. Normally, I don't do that. I would just wear it the whole time. But this is where the world all starts. Again, we wake up here, and of course Cid. In the proper timeline, you can get Cid to live, but story-wise, I think the only correct thing to do is to have him die. Because it just, it all means much more to Celis. The despair and being able to move past it. Celis is like my favorite character ever from anything. I say that basically every time we mention her at all. I like basically everything about her, right? I mean, too blonde, you know, like dark hair would have been great, but I'm quibbling at that point. Because she woke up into a world where all the things that had been plaguing her about the bad things she had done now paled in comparison to the reality. No, she did terrible things. And yet suddenly she woke up and what had happened to everyone was so dramatically worse than anything that had ever happened ever that her misdeeds had essentially been forgotten. The idea that you were going to be mad about anything the Empire had done when Kefka had torn the world into pieces and poisoned the oceans and let loose the dragons and corrupted the lakes and the rivers and casually destroyed villages if he heard you talking rude about him. She didn't know all that, all she knew that she was alone. And it was really hard for her, right? But not hopeless. And the right symbol at the right time can save a person. It's time to go to the Tower of Kefka. It's time to make landfall. Alright, we're going in! Now you might think if you're landing at a tower, wouldn't you land at the top and fight the guy who lives at the top of the tower? You could not possibly be more wrong. That's not how it works. Look, we're all on deck. It's time we took the battle to Kefka's doorstep. Setzer says, what's wrong? Celos. The gods of the Warring Triad control the magic of the Esper world. If we destroy them, you're worried about what might happen. I can't say for sure, but Espers and even magic itself could vanish from the world. Edgar says, and if that happens, what'll happen to Terra? So there's the magical anchors for the party. By long-standing tradition, you keep Strago and Realm and Shadow together. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Celos and Locke. And from there, it's oh yeah, we've got Power Mog. He's great. And so, we're leaving Gao and Umaro. This isn't like, you don't have to do that. They're both amazing characters. We didn't end up really rolling with them. I mean, we used Gao a few times, in the earlier world. And Umaro we used not at all. He's an abominable snowman. He's cool. You don't control him. He just does a rage thing. He's fine. But, anyway, so... if we were gonna leave somebody, it would be like leaving Setzer, who's okay, but not that strong. So now, physical fighters. So these three guys are basically interchangeable, but Mog is like one of them as well. So, and we actually have pretty decent items on lock. So if we put Mog here, this is like a very punchy thing. Cel's super tanky and so is Realm. we keep the brothers together. Then we have a setup that looks like this. Setzer's like the weakest thing. So we could put him here, because Sabin's party's very strong. Then this party is totally beast. You know, we're hardly going to get too strong anywhere. We could just do this, and this party is going to be a monster. This one has big potential. Yeah, this will be great. This will be great. This is perfect. This is relatively perfect. You know, Setzer... He'll be the weakest link. It'll be fine. Let's go. Our magical girls headlining the parties. They're the best at magic out of the box, and they're the best at magic now. And bonk. The Warring Triad awaits. Alright, so we've made our way in, so we're just gonna look at the equipments and stuff real quick. Alright, bam. She's got Enhancer, Genji Shield, great stuff. Sprint Shoes, and Double Cast. What's not to like? We got a Growth Egg on him, and then Evasion. The Evasion doesn't matter too much, right? We could just... the music. We just go to Guild Toss there, and then we've got dash there. All right, and then when we move to the other party, we'll talk about what we've got going on there. But let's just get an Esper going. He'll be able to learn something productive. Like Ultima. Yeah, something productive like Ultima. And if you want to leave, you can just pull this lever. Why do we even have that lever? The Primeval Dragon and the Great Marlborough. So, one way to play is to come here, like, as soon as you can type of thing. Where you just immediately rock in. Oh, we didn't even, we have people that weren't healed up from earlier from leveling. That's pretty clumsy. It's fine. But, like, the way I really like to play is you just basically come to Kefka Towers as soon as you can and just try to get as far as you can in it each time. And then you can get, like, some really cool items. You also... So now you can, like, click a button and avoid random battles. But back in the day, you had to bring Mog to do that. So you could put Mog in a party by himself and run as far forward as you could and get, like, all the stuff out of the chests, which is pretty nice. But... like, you run up here, Hypno Crown, which gives you, like, use it on Realm to get, like, increased rate of control success or something. Anyway. And she's just gonna drop the base here. Like, hit it with a bio with an Ultima follow-up, you know. Totally could have bum rushed there. I forgot how much damage Ultima was gonna do. But there we go. Set him up, knock him down. And we never ended up getting the make everything cost half magic. We actually might wear one on Terra, right? Because honestly, if we just drop the Soul of Tomasa, right, and put on a hairpin, we can solo cast 40 MP Ultimas, and that's good enough. I mean, it's better than good enough. It's super excellent. I would consider it a classic way to play, and that's why we're going to play that way now. Also, Gold Hairpin, I never use it while I'm playing, and then I use it in the final... No, there's a thing that used to be called the Economizer. Ooh, fixed dice, my favorite thing! So, dice on Setzer... Oh, we don't have another one. Like, you can... Because you roll them, and the fixed ones have a better rate of coming up at high numbers, and it's so much cooler than I'm making it sound. It's not good at all. I love it. Boom. So it rolls dice out, and then as the multiplier of it, you get, of what the roll is, you do damage. It can frequently be quite high, and the fixed dice, of course, give you better rate at it. This is one of the things where it's like, if you're like a person who likes Setzer, well, we're a person that likes living, we better pay attention to the fact that this King Behemoth ain't dead. So like that, you need to be able to soak those hits to be able to move forward. You don't want a final dungeon to be too easy, right? And this one, unless you're over-leveled, it's not like it's without its dangers. Because we even power-leveled a fair amount. Not like to the grossest extent I've done in my life, but a fair amount. Like, we're stronger than we ought to be. That'll heal the Marlboro, but it's worth it to get the other ones. Oh, whoops. Well, we did it again. Boom! Like, what a hit, right? 4950. Setzer, what a champ. And it's all about the fixed dice, right? Because he doesn't even have crazy high stats, but that's why Setzer is good. When we were leveling him, we did nothing but give him the speed off of Raiden. He doesn't have outrageous speed. It's Locke who has outrageous speed, because Locke we have Genji Glove on, and the Wing Edge gives him 7 speed, and we have 2 of them on him, and then his armor gives him speed 2, so he has like 20 higher speed than he normally has. For perspective, 30 speed is a normal amount. Locke has something like 60, and we barely modified it with hard and fast things. But alright, so here we have reached the edge of that party's run. So here's Celis' party. Celis, you know her, you love her. We got the Paladin Shield, Hermes Sandals, and a Ribbon. Force Armor, she is the tankiest. She's taken half damage from elements. She's got Enhancer. She's great. Over 100 Magic Evade, my girl. Double Wing Edge, which gives you Strength Agility. And then we've got Mug, Genji Glove, because double Wing Edge. So he's a little not tanky, but it's worth it, basically. Yeah, I was like, we've got a normal... Here we go, we can put a Flame Shield on him. We don't really need this Alarm Ring. It would stop us from getting ambushed, but honestly, I would just rather have haste here. And then, so Cyan, good gear, Genji Helm, Force Shield's amazing, and then the haste. Now we want to... Status commands. So Steel is, we were doing that because we didn't have the other ones, so we don't really need that. Magic's good. Tools we don't need, right? We need Blitz. And we need to put Blitz here, not on the bottom. Alright, so We could like dance, or we could rage. Giving him rage is actually quite decent. But we're not, like, so basically, when you have Blitz, you can do anything you want already. So the fourth one doesn't matter too much. I guess we'll go with items. This is a classic Go-Go setup, right? Where you just have full utility and then massive power out of it. And then you just treat him like Blitz all the time. And so we do backline. We can put her in the front. Everybody else is going to function perfectly well out of the back line, which is the great thing about this party. Ultra tanky. And that's how it operates. All we need now is, I'm like, wait, yeah, he doesn't get an Esper? Of course he doesn't. It's just to put literally anything on him. There you go. Because if it lines up well like it does here, we'll be able to mimic the mug anyway. And Mimic is so strong. Oh yeah, there's multiple ones in this stack. There's always multiple ones in the stack. We weren't supposed to attack with Cyan. You know, if you do the proper move, it's good, not bad. They're quite weak though, right? But when you put Go-Go and Sabin into a different party, that means you have two bum rushes. Of course, Go-Go is significantly weaker than Sabin, but it doesn't translate into that much lower of a hit, right? Just a few hundred. Bum Rush has a crazy high damage on it. Go-Go's just a little weaker, but an amazing, amazing fighter. You know, gets it done. We shouldn't be doing that with Celis, since she's one of the few that actually, you know, does damage. She's getting Ultima from her shield, and then we'll, you know, we'll have that on her. Although Ultima is, of course, so pricey. Ah, the Minerva Bustier! So this is really good for tankiness stuff. It does take us under the 100. Now, we could do this, like, you know, but I do like to give this to Terra. Well, she's got Force Armor as well, so that means we can give it to you, you know. Boost the max MP. You lose a little bit of magic evade, which doesn't matter. Great piece of armor to go with the Paladin shield. Y'all know that Celis is my favorite. Is it any surprise that we're giving her all of the very best things? It should not be a surprise that we're giving her all of the very best things. But now the Force Armor can go to somebody else, which we'll give to, you know, somebody else. And Locke has such incredibly ice. Locke's the only person we don't like have the haste thing on, basically. And he has basically as much speed as they do with the haste thing on. Such is his power. Speaking of power, we've lost Go-Go. But here's just another situation where Bio does some good work, and Cyan coming in for, you know, 1600 on these slashes. Huge work. Oh, we accidentally cast Raise again. The game does take autoing very seriously. Go hits level. Why am I doing that? We should. Like, we should do this so that we don't. And then when we right back to Celis to cast it. Awesome! It's fine, actually, it's fine. And what's this, you might say? Some kind of weapon? I'm like, do I have another gold hairpin? I think not. I think we put it on everybody else. Well, you know, it's fine. I am the one known as Ultima, forged an eternity ago. I was placed here, and then forgotten in the mists of time. Long have I pondered what I should do. Long have I pondered. You did not ponder until I was a man, but now it seems I have an answer. Bum, 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 bum. But this party has big damage potential, of course. Oh, right. Can't poison him? That's silly. I mean, I had to try because I didn't remember. We steal a blood sword, very nice. Now he has nothing to steal. Very sad. Because between Gogo and Cyan, we have gigantic damage, right? Hey, and now we're a little froze. So Frozen's a fun status effect, a little bit of a unique one. So what you do is you cast fire on your own party, right? Or he's helping us out here. And that's how you thaw it out. But you know, he's optional. I mean, not to me, he's not. But oh no, that's the wrong thing. We cast the heal again. Quake! Oh no! Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. So because of the last thing that we had done with him being a raise on lock, it actually ended up being the right thing to do. Very funny. I was like, he's almost dead. There we go. So this is a fight, you know, if you can't live through a volley or two, you know, you can't make it without the good items. So you could walk into Kefka's tower, leave him here, and then, like, do a little bit further, and then back out. Celis learns Ultima. Nice. You never know when you'll need it. And she is like, Byaw! But this is where you get your save point. Very important. Peaceful little Celis tent. Of course, abstractly, it's good to leave a person at a save point. Now you can quick save from the menu, which is great, you know. Nothing worse than losing a whole bunch of progress in a turn-based RPG, or any game, you know. It always hurts, but... But, you know, this party's a killer. They're all great. They're all really, really good parties. The last party, look, so Realm is even more beast mode of a magician than Celis is, and Celis is very strong. And Strago, I think, has overpassed her as well, has surpassed her as well. Another force shield. Yeah, that'll just continue this being the tankiest party, because it gives you shell. In addition to, it halves the damage from elements and cast shell on you. It's such a good shield. The force shield is. Yeah, this party will just have that, you know. Sometimes for, like, if you're having trouble on a statue or something, shuffling around your best items in the heat of the moment is totally acceptable. Oh, he gave him the old infernal kiss. That's too bad. Never kiss a Marlboro on the mouth. They'll get you every time. If the rows of gleaming red teeth didn't get you, and the swampy texture didn't get you, just let the knowledge of imminent demise caution you against it. Oh yeah, and the bio actually healed it. Of course it did. But you know. It's not immune to poison, it just gets healed by poison. Oh, we Phoenix down to begin. Well, that's good. Fortunately, with another strong performance from Gogo, they all fall down again. There's plenty of opportunities for leveling as you go in here, as we know, and then Celis. I feel like there's a gold hairpin up here somewhere for me. Force armor, so good. This would get him sort of in line with the rest. Yeah, because we actually have an extra one, don't we? Yeah. And we could give it to him. He's got an Aegis shield. I would love to back up Aegis shield with a force armor, though. That's like a classic thing. Puts him in 91 magic evade. Yeah, that'll be good for that party. You know, we gotta let the other ones get thrown a bone, right? Although, similarly, you don't have to do that, and maybe it's better to not. But we need to backtrack a little bit and go down the other way, because we accidentally went this way. Oh, Phoenix down, why? I did it again. I keep doing it. I keep doing it, nobody knows why. Fortunately, we've got plenty of them. It's because I hit X for the blitz and they're behind each other in the turn order. I mean, I know why. Doesn't make it good. I did it again. Oh my goodness. I was like, this'll work. We'll just do the blitz. And attack from Celis. There you go. Amazing. On the 50th time it stood, we get Giga Volted. Locke, I think, has the shield that makes him take double lightning damage, which is, you know, fine. It's one of the special shields. They're usually worth wearing anyway, unless you know that such and such a guy is going to definitely, you know, counteract it. You know, you wouldn't want to wear it against the Lightning Dragon, for example. Speaking of dragons, are we due one pretty soon? might have just walked the wrong way for it. Nope, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Alright, time for the dragon. The gold dragon. I like gold. But yeah, this dude does not have what it takes, right, to win here. This party is juiced. It's got some of the best items, well, all of the best items of the game almost. And yeah, just very, very strong. Hit him with the flares. We're all on the back row too, so pretty safe. And Thunder, you know, just doesn't have what it takes. And, you know, Bum Rush, Cyan does more than the Bum Rush does, right? Cyan's single target is crazy. And he's not even juiced up in power. He's like wearing a Hyperist. Sabin's got like 40 more power than he does. But, for all I, yeah. Crystal Orb, which, that gives us 50% more HP, right? MP, right. Muscle belts, though, yeah. But really, you want to give, because the maneuver boost is good, but you want to give the orb to somebody who's wearing, you know, like a Soul of Tomasa plus gold hairpin, and then you've got, or rather, no, one or the other, right? No. Like, who's wearing a gold hairpin, and, you know, you just, like, single cast an Ultima over and over again or whatnot. But we're just gonna keep wearing the ribbon on our girl. We don't want anything bad to happen to her. Bum, 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 bum. Because having a character that isn't going to get hit by a status effect is a value all its own, right? And we totally need to backtrack. We'll fight a couple of the random battles and then probably turn them off just for speed's sake. But, you know, we're still fighting guys we haven't really even fought at all here, so totally worth doing. Doom's such a funny effect because it's like, wow, if you don't win in the next minute, then you're really gonna pay, buddy. To be fair, it does count while things that like aren't like animations are happening, so it is easier to die to than you would want. Venomist. Oh, a mist of venom, a venom mist, venomist. So, like, I feel like there's a good steal from Daedalus, but I don't remember what it is. I'm like, yeah, we went too far forward. I knew I missed something. I just had this nagging feeling. I'm like, you are doing something, and you didn't do a different something. Locke's Wing Edge has a chance of casting the pain, right? And then All you have to do is step on it, and then they can walk past. But we're going to continue on with this party for a second. Oh, no, actually, this is a good time to swap over here. So the Realm party is jacked. Nobody needs to be on the front row. Realm will be able to... Yeah, we'll just give her the orb. I mean, it won't take effect for too long, but yeah, she'll be able to do huge damage there. Struggle could stand to have a haste on him, right? We can put him in a Moogle suit, and then he would look like a Moogle Kupo, but... So Mog, you have a Holy Lance, you put the Dragon Boots and Dragoon Boots and Dragon Horn on him. You get jump with Dragoon Boots. Dragon Horn makes you do multiple jumps when you jump, so you'll jump 2 or 4 times sometimes. The only great jumpers in the game use a merit award to get a spear, or are Mog or Edgar. Edgar's got his tools, which are sort of his niche we like to do, but Mog as a jumper is crazy good. Wish we had better armor for him, but the diamond vest will have to do. I guess, can he wear... He was suit? No. Like, there's something good we could wear for him, but I don't think he can wear force armor, though. It's fine. But, so you'll see the power there, and then Shadow, of course, throws. Realm, huge magic. Strago, huge magic. They're just going to, you know, demolish the opposition. It's going to be great. They're going to be like, death to the opposition! And Mog has, like, very regular stats, right? We haven't modified his too much. You're going to see when he jumps that he doesn't need the modified stats that other people get. Jumping is crazy good, and we are going to get that. Oh, a little red cap. Now that makes us a little stronger and a little faster, which is desirable. And now he gets a little red hat to wear. A little fez. Now, this party does need to, like, spend magic. Well, some of them need to spend magic in order to get the damage in. But we are... They're all, like, quite tanky here in this party. Not, like... Realm's ultra tanky. But, party number 2, you know, that's the party of my favorites. You got Go-Go and Locke and Celis and Cyan there. You know, they're all crazy powerful. But, like, where's Edgar at? Party number 1. It's been so long. It's like, if there was more, but, like, there's a stack of them, which I should be appreciating that I knew that. But yeah, so, you see there, he gets gigantic damage there, and Mog learns the Earth Blues. This is the proper way. We need to go the other way first. Skin suit. Alright, we took away her Aegis shield some time ago. Well... And I guess dropping the Magistrate isn't bad. We just go Behemoth Suit for the tankiness. It makes you look like a squirrel. I don't think it actually does in light. I'm like, no, this was the right way. We get another gauntlet. Objectively, the most underwhelming thing in the game. No, I mean, it's fine. It's just, you don't get 2 stats from the weapons, so, you know, if the weapon's good, where are you getting from it? And these guys are making people go crazy. Well, then, innocent, we're gonna have to drop the base on you. Hit him with the Grand Train. And Ultima! When Realm wants to get it done, my girl gets it done. And here, we might as well just leave Bismarck on him for the bonus. He doesn't need more magic. The Bahamut, getting Flare on him is very exciting. Who's using Ragnarok Setzer? He doesn't need all of that. We're never going to cast it with him. But I love the final dungeon here. So, like, I compare it to, like, the final dungeon in Final Fantasy IV, which is fine. But in 4, of course, you've got your one party, and I love the ensemble cast in this game, and I love how it gets realized. We need to get Bio with him. Like, all y'all need it. Of course, half-cost Ultima for Realm, you know, half-cost Ultima is only 40, and 40 is like, you can pay that to end a battle. She has, you know, with the thing on, and, you know, you don't need haste if you're only going to cast one spell, right? Bum, 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 bum. Da, 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 da. Another Hero's Ring, which are fine items, you know, but not, like, important. Fortis. I have a simple mind, and it says, if they are machines, use lightning on them. Tries to hit the old double arm on Shadow. Of course, Shadow is amazingly tanky, because he has dog evasion on top of regular evasion, which is already high. One thing I like about the game is, although these guys are not like pushovers, but if you get really, really good items, by which I mean go everywhere in the game and look at all the chests, it's not even like a bunch of super hidden stuff. I don't consider the stuff that hidden anyway, to get basically everything that's great, you know, so all you gotta do is do that before you show up here. If you show up without your Force Shields and your Aegis Shields and your Flame Shields, you know, because a few Flame Shields goes a super long way. And then he gets a quad jump for about 4k, very good damage there. That guy has super high physical defense, which is why it didn't do a little more to him, but that's okay. And of course, Mog is pretty high HP. He's also Mog, so he's jumping all the time, so when he's in the air, they can't hit him. Jump is also very good, because if there's something that wipes the party, they can sandbag you whenever they come back out. They can be like, oh, well, not that dead. Mostly dead, still slightly alive. We save here, and then with the steel chair! That's right, it's Ketu, Rahu, and Inferno! Well, you know what I say to them? Have you met my friend Ultima? Like Atomic Ray, that's just gonna heal most of the people here. Because this party, like, we could make a party that's slightly stronger than this one, but this party is monstrous, okay? Rome and Strago are both crazy powerful. Shadow's one of the preeminent characters in the game. And the Mog we have is, you know, the Jumper. 99999 for the Ultima. My girl, my perfect girl. Magitech Barrier? Oh yeah, is that gonna do anything against Ultima? Nah, get out. Yeah, some barrier. Get wrecked. Ultima, being the strongest magic in the game, also hits everybody and also doesn't care about reflection, making it not just the strongest magic in the game, but the best. It also costs 80. You can get a gold hairpin pretty early. I guess we could have used a tent for Stragos as well, but you know, it'll be alright. But there that fool goes, you know, as if he was going to be able to stand up to the might. But all of the casters have an Ultima now. Realm, however, is... Well, I don't think Strago actually knows it. No. He's learning it now. But... Realm is the strongest of all of our wizards. You know, she is best girl. She is the punchiest. She starts out, I think, highest base magic, and then you just, you know, if you lean on it at all, well, it just gets better and better. And she has access to the best weapons because Magus Rod is like a better enhancer, right? Because Enhancer only has 20 magic evasion, and Magus Rod has 30. And the Behemoth Suit is super good. And we're just teaching her random stuff because, by long tradition, you're supposed to try to learn a bunch of random stuff on your wizards, even if you never need to use the magic, right? And Reflect is something that you might want to use someday. Because Flare's like half the MP of Ultima, but it's also half the damage, and it only hits one person. But if you're trying to conserve a little bit, then why are you casting Flare? You should just be using auto attacks for the back row for safety. Not really. Oh no! It absorbs Holy. I forgot. Like, how about a full heal, buddy? And a Hyper Wrist is like 50% of your strength, so it scales with how good you are. It's great in the early game, and it gets even better as you go. I'm like, why not? Why not cure everything? Question mark. The Rainbow Brush is not as good as the Magus Rod, right? Yeah. So in the original, if you didn't use a brush, you couldn't use the sketch command. But now you can use a rod and use the sketch command in this remake, so there's basically no point in using these brushes. Well, I mean, you could give the Magus Rod to somebody else. The Magus Rod is one of the very best items in the game, though. I mean, a lot of her items are very good, which, you know, is why her magic is a 72, because it's, what, 3 from the Veil, 6 there, so then you get 9, 16 there, you know, so it's 56 magic without all of her stuff. We could get those numbers even higher. Yeah, Rome coming in here with the Ultimas, just bashing them down. Beautiful stuff. Strago doesn't get any bonuses from the Ragnarok, but you know, he's learning Ultima. It's all part of the plan. You can swap it out when you notice someone's about to level. That's a totally legitimate way to play it. That's, you know, and you've seen me do it a couple of times in this playthrough, but it's a little more power level-y than we want to go for. And here, the dragon! The final dragon. The last dragon. The Skull Dragon. Miss me. Maxed out Ultima, my girl. Castrayo's no pushover either, right? Like, he gets it done. This whole party is killers, right? And the dragon's already dead. And that... And this is not like a max level party, right? This is a upper 30s level party, but, you know... If you build it, you'll kill them before all 8 dragons have been defeated. The Eightfold Seal is broken! And we get Crusader, that's right. The Crusader Magicite. Where you can get Meteor, which is nice. And Meltdown, or Merton, which hurts everybody. Including your people and Norse magic defense, but you know, Meteor is super good because it's cheaper than Ultima. So for like Ultima appropriate situations that you want to save magic on, why not Meteor? And then the HP belt is, I mean, usable, right? It gives you a lot more HP, 50% more HP, but usually I just don't use it because I consider haste to be more important. But at a certain point, like before a boss fight, I'll be like, okay, before this statue, let's muscle up, you know. And we're here! To the end of Path 3. Now it's time to go back to Path 2. No, back to Path 1! No, this is Path 2. Alright, we had a little bit of backtracking to do. We're gonna just turn the encounter off. So to get back to there, because I'm like, because we turned left, but you're meant to go right. I'm like, yeah, that's what is wrong, but like, oh, the throw command, right? I'm like, oh, we can't even use that, yeah. It's just a really good shuriken. Anyway, that's alright. Encounter's back on. It's like, I knew that we had left something undone, and I was unwilling to not open the box. I don't think we're gonna open every box of the game. I'm sure I missed a couple. But, you know, when you know you left one behind. Because, you know, all the parties are incredibly strong in their own way, and that is the point. You know, the party with Edgar and Setzer and Sabin is probably slightly weaker than the other two. Just because Terra is, I think, actually slightly a weaker mage than Celis with how we've got the stuff. And, well, you know, we gave Celis the cooler items. Oh, yeah. Let's do an auto attack with a Gladius, why don't we? Holy Elemental, why not? Bum 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 bum. No, not bad breath. He'll never survive. Alrighty. Back to our regularly scheduled walking. Outsider and Cherry. Oh, Cherry, Cherry. Cherry, Cherry, Cherry. Have you seen ultimate magic? You're gonna holy me? You're gonna holy me? Too bad I got my paladin shield on. Y'all didn't know I was a paladin, Celis. The Dark Knight becomes the paladin! Sorry, spoilers. It's not really for this game though, is it? We'll play 4 one of these days. We will, you know, I'm so glad I finally got around to playing this. I was actually worried that YouTube would get mad at me for the music, but I never had a really good handle of how that whole system worked with them giving you notices and the blah, 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 blah. But now I have a slightly better handle on it than I did. You know, you might be thinking, have you not had a channel for like 12 years? Celis, why you like paladins so much? Celis isn't technically a paladin unless you want to treat her like one. The reason I like paladins so much is Final Fantasy IV. But Celis is like a paladin, but she's not explicitly a paladin, and anybody can carry the paladin shield. But like, the paladin to me is the redeemed person, and so I see Celis as very much the paladin role, you know? They become a protector, but they have a past of iniquity and violence. Like, that's what a paladin is to me. But my view of a paladin is shaped by Final Fantasy IV, and I just saw Celis as a continuation of that archetype, basically. And then, yeah, so now both of the steps are pressed. But yeah, you know, yeah, basically the answer is yes. But I just think paladins are good stories, but you know, plenty of people don't want their heroes to be, like, legitimately quite terrible and evil and stuff at some point in their stories. I don't mind that. I know a lot of people find it a lot harder to love, but fixed dice for 9K, oh my god, it's so good! $9 amazing thousand. It's like I sort of thought there was an item over there, maybe it's here. Because there's the classic Chosen One narrative, right? Where, you know, sort of Golden Bough hero's journey from Campbell, right? Where You're like, oh, they're gonna be from the humble village and then discover that they need to, you know, go on the journey, blah, 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 making a good story. But I like this person committed shocking acts of criminal violence and a whole lot of people want them dead, and then they realized that they didn't need to be bad anymore. You know, I like that story. So like, you know, whenever, you know, like a Buddha type of thing, right? When someone's like, wow, that really got out of hand. I and others are likely going to judge me for my behavior here. You know, I like it when they end up being a good person at the end. Because, like, Leo is the same way, and I quite like Leo. I think of Leo as a classic paladin as well, too, albeit one who didn't get to, you know, fulfill his entire shift. But, spoilers, but in Final Fantasy IV, to America, but 4 in the parlance of it, the main character is called Cecil, and he is a Dark Knight for some of the game. Okay, going. Well, yes, it was fun hanging out, Ellie. Good to see you. Maybe I'll catch you later on. But yeah, we'll, this will probably be the last Final Fantasy VI playthrough. I intend to push through the whole thing and clutch victory and stuff. But if you want to talk about any of it some other time, I'll be happy to as well, or you can catch the VOD or whatever. But yeah, see you later. Good talking to you. Fiend Dragon? They should have called you the Gold Dragon. As I am the great Gold Dragon. I will rescue the world. Do not lose heart. So we're gonna hit him with the old drill. Eye protection mandatory. Fixed dice are just cracked. I think you can use, like, Genji Glove to throw 2 things of dice at him with it. But you can also, I think, like, roll Offering on it for huge damage. But the thing about using Offering is it takes so much time. Oh, wow, yeah, he hits us with the old... So that move sets your HP to 1. Pay attention to that move. We're gonna hear more about that move later. The old Fallen Angel move, which does not get evaded and does set your HP to 1, is a good way to have a bad time. She's like, well, if y'all are gonna show up to the party, let us drop the sky. A devastating dice roll. Setzer doesn't even have an Esperal. Oh, he must have been wearing old Ultima. Ragnarok. We should be very close to a save point for this party, right? Yeah. And here you have the opportunity to shift where your parties are. Oh no! He hit himself in the face with his own dice. I've seen it 1,000 times. It's devastating. Bless Me Ultima. That's a good book. You should read it. Like, it's not that one. This one, yeah, this one will open. Alright, I don't remember how it works. Or maybe, no, we gotta be on the green thing over here, and then it'll open that side. No? Oh, we gotta... now I remember, like, we gotta push this down to be a weight on this side. That's how it works. Like, I remember. And this guy has, you know, his little reflect on, but you know what doesn't get reflected? Ultima. Tries to do this with the old wave cannon, barely feel a thing. Because otherwise, if you don't have all your parties moving like in sequence, because you can get like kind of far ahead if you miss one of the walkways, and then you get to here and you're like, wait, what do I do? And I'm like, oh, well, time to backtrack pretty far. You got to move this party all the way to the beginning, but of course there's ways to leave. But so you see, like here too, like if you wanna bring in a shoestring party that's got like 1 or 2 people in it, it's probably not going to work. It's a pretty high lethality place. But you can fake it for a bit, maybe. And of course, there's also that Celes and Runic. Now, if you're really power gaming, you don't want Celes and Gogo in the same party, because getting Runic on Gogo can be very strong, depending on the fight you're in. But I usually just try to like force it, you know, go for courage. And anyway, I like having Gogo in a party like this. I like having Sabin and Gogo and Shadow all in different parties because they're all very reliable. So Cyan's got his big damage right, but you don't get to pick who he hits. And they can split it, whereas Bum Rush, Phantom Rush will hit, you know, one thing more often, but this fool falls down. And now it's the first obstacle, Guardian. This is the same Guardian-ish that pops Tomasa down that we can't fight. Oh, but we can fight him now. Oh, Strago coming in with a 7k Grand Train, getting it done. Of course, your silly fire spell is no match for Realm's Absorb. Or, you know, the 6-7k Grand Train. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And then, you know, Mog also showing up. Hey, and there's the Holy Proc. Beautiful work. The thing about Mog is because everybody else has haste and are like slightly speed modified, it makes it seem like it's taking forever for the jump to go in, but actually we're all just very fast. And then there is the Guardian boss fight, which can be tricky if you don't have, you know, all of your ducks in a row. But our ducks are like entirely lined up and doing all of the most duck-like things at this point in the playthrough. They are the duckiest. And you guessed it, a statue! The statue of Demon, who gets appropriately epic music. Demon's got super high defense. The shurikens don't care about it, of course. Shuriken's too good. I guess we could just dance. We could intimidate him. Intimidate him with our Earth Blues. Yeah, let's just do that. And then Realm can get on to Smashery. Sonic Boom, that's not gonna work. I shouldn't have used it. Your fire magic has no power here, demon. But they'll be dying soon, right? Hey, there's what we were looking for, a nice sunbath heal. Is it strong? No, because, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, pretty strong. But Demon can't get it done here, right? This party is too good. They're all too good. They're all too strong. The power. Our destiny is manifest, right? Like, we are going to get this down. We are going to be the heroes. Realm learns Meteor! And we get the Radiant Lance! Which, you guessed it, is Radiant! Even stronger than the Holy Lance, even better in every way, and that'll get us even more damage. We're just gonna leave Bismarck on him while we're running around, right? Like, why not? But yeah, so that's... Whoops. Yeah. so there's the one there, but I'm like, no, that's right. We've got to backtrack very far. Yeah, we actually do. I'm glad that they have this button, because I'm like, oh, wait, no. Well, this is the party with the Moogle anyway, so it's the least objectionable. I'm like, we forgot to do something very important, didn't we? There you go. I'm like, we didn't open their doors. That's what I mean about the funny thing, right? Alright. Alright, but fortunately, this party has the Moogle charm, which means we're just gonna run through. You know, they've already beat their statue. But yeah, you know, if you... There we go. I was like, I forgot a door again, didn't I? I did indeed forget a door again. Alright. But yes, it's, here's Fiend! Ooh. What a cool little setup they've got. Oh, we don't... She doesn't have any MP. Well, that's bad. Well, you know... You go through a whole game and never use an elixir. This is the perfect time to do it, though. It's like, he's already on fire, leave him alone. I'm like, yeah, she's got MP now, you better watch out. His aura is trembling violently. Oh no. Does that mean we're not friends anymore? Missed him? Hit him with the bum rush. Missed him? Oh. It is now immune to wind, yes. I'm like, fortunately, I have, for this situation... Oh, right. Why did I... He's got reflect. Of course he does. Whoops. And now we're all pulled to the front. And that's it for him. Another statue down. It's like, I love the idea of getting everything in the whole place and then leaving, doing the rest of the game, and then coming back to get Kefka afterward. Terra's cute little attempt. Yeah, you know, we've, you beat Guardian, and then it's just the 3 Guardians remaining. The statues themselves. Do we need to... It's almost over. Well, I mean, we still gotta win a couple big fights. Not too worried about Goddess. It is possible that we only have the magic working on it. I'm like, does she have entire evasion? Nah, just high evasion. Lullaby, oh no! Like, I don't think we have anything with him that can... Because to wake somebody up from sleeping, you have to hit him, and Mimic won't do it. I guess we'll just have to Bum Rush. Flash Rain? Is that supposed to make me afraid? Yeah, we just give him a little love tap there. And there she goes. Medium-high magic plus Ultima gets it done, right? That's, you know, it's the late game. You transition into an Ultima powerhouse. Cells turns re-raise and just in time. And Excalibur! We destroyed the Warring Triad, but the power of magic isn't fading like it should be. Could Kefka have extracted the very source of magic from them? So, Excalibur, however, is just not better than Enhancer, right? Not for a caster. So the king can have it. I'm like, someone doesn't have a good shield. There you go. Well, what better place than here? What better time than now? Alright, this party's healed. And this party's healed. And this party's ready to go. And before we kick off the final battle, we're just going to take a very short break. And we'll be right back. And, well, you know what happens next. We fight Kefka. Alright. Let's get to it. And we all show up here at the roof of the world. And he says, welcome, friends. I knew you'd come, so I've been practicing my greeting. How much do you have to destroy before you'll have had your fill, Kefka? The text over the sprites is hard to read. I've acquired the ultimate power, observe! Such magnificent power, you're nothing more than fleas compared to me now. Embrace your destruction. It is the fate of all things. To be destroyed? Maybe it is, but people can always rebuild, and new lives will always be born. Center says. Kefka drops his triangle and says, and time will destroy all those as well. Why do people insist on creating things that will inevitably be destroyed? Why do people cling to life, knowing that they must someday die? Knowing that none of it will have meant anything once they do. Triangle's back. Because it's not the end that matters. It's knowing you have something to live for right now, at this moment. He's gonna get mad and toss him. Yeah. As long as you have that, that's enough! Did you find your somethings in this broken world that's dying itself? Yes. Yes. I sure did. Love. Lux has a person worth protecting. A wife and child who live fond with him. Friends and family. A peaceful kingdom. A loving brother who always looks out for me. Someone willing to accept me for who I am. An adorable little granddaughter. An obnoxious grandpa who I couldn't live without. Wings from a dear old friend. New powers go pro. Blah. You people make me sick. You sound like lines from a self-help book. If that's how it's gonna be, I'll snuff them all out, every last one of your sickening, happy little reasons for living. No, Kefka, stop! The animation on the Flame of Judgment is awesome. I wield the greatest power in existence. You may as well be the dirt on the bottom of my boots, or the dirt stuck to the bottom of that dirt. What a Kefka line, right? Soon it will be time for the battle, and the best song in the game. I'll destroy everything. I'll create my own empire of death. Can't destroy everything. People will always have dreams. No, when I'm through, there won't be anything left to dream about. I should have put on dual casting. We won't let you hurt any more people. Well, what fun is destruction if no precious lives are lost? Because the thing about Kefka is he can always do worse. It ends here, Kefka. Alright, so, the order of participation in battle. The people with the greatest personal stakes go first. Locke swore to protect them, and he will to the end. And And if any of those mages fall... It's relatively unlikely that we'll get to the other ones, but it could happen. But yeah, but that'll be the sweeper at the end, you know, we'll have them, and then... This is not the strongest party we could put together order-wise, because they only fill in the parties if they fall on a transition, right? But at least it's how it used to be. Statue of the Gods A, B, and C. Here we are. But it's like they're trying to use regular amounts of strength against my ultimate strength. Terra and Celis just straight popping off. And Cyan doing amazing damage now, right? And plus he can crit, which does even more. But I mean, he does super good damage. For being magic free, it's so good. But we're stealing some more elixirs there with Locke, and man, this song. We get a handful of elixirs out of it, which is so good, right? Because you can use them in this fight. Oh, this song. Because there's the base of the Kefka fight. It's the coolest boss fight. I mean, it's the transitions in it. This fight blew my mind as a kid, and it's still pretty amazing now. Of course, the thing about Ultima is it renders all the other magic in the game irrelevant, which is fine. Something has to be the best. Because they go hit reflect, but it literally won't matter, right? Diffractive laser, which we almost all block. It's probably going to kill Locke. Nope, it does basically nothing to him. Get wrecked. But in lots of JRPGs, there tends to be like an ultimate almighty type attack that, you know, is the objectively correct thing to use. Persona and Shin Megami Tensei do this, you know, where leaning onto stat increasing or like boosting of internal things, and then leading it off with like a pierce type attack is the way to do final ones. So I don't feel like it's that weird. But what we need to do is, because if we just, it would be nice to get somebody else into the battle just for roleplay's sake, right? So I think if Locke falls, we'll just let him stay fallen here, so that we can, and even if Terra does, right? Because we've got more people behind. But we want to throw a re-raise on Celis. You know, they dispel things, but actually it probably, you know. Yeah. So They make it through another transition at very low totals. And here is what you think is Kefka at the top. The statue of the gods I and H. It looks pretty Kefka-esque. And then Realm comes in now. Because if somebody's dead in the transition, they come in here, right? But here's the Merton. Terra hits her with the elixir, which of course just lets us jump in. More ultimate damage! We all block Meteor. And now, time for the best song in the game. For Out of the Clouds. The terror of the world. The bright and shining devil of the land. Kefka. Life, dreams, hope. Where do they come from and where do they go? Such meaningless things. I'll destroy them all. And here's Fallen Angel, and of course... Oh, I hit a runic there? That's bad. Well, I mean, it might be fine. It's okay, actually. I wouldn't call it bad. You know, we might just lose here. I think maybe we don't have good enough stats. Yeah, we should be able to stabilize. We should be able to stabilize. And anyway, it wouldn't be anything that a couple of levels wouldn't fix if we had to, but I think we've got it here. Yeah, the transition into the fight is always the hardest, right? Because he always does this has a 100% chance to hit move on you. Terra falls, what are you gonna do, right? The end draws near. Forsaken hits. It's such a song, right? Truly one of the amazing songs of all games. I don't care who hears me say it. The end draws near. Hold still, Kefka. I want to hit you with my Ultima. And the most satisfying crumbling to dust that you get. A beautiful and prolonged disintegration of the pixels. Much longer than all the other boss fight disintegrations. The one you earn the most. Kefka's fallen. There. Wait, now we're at the top of this tower and it's crumbling! The tower's collapsing! Run away! Oh no, it's another one of these! We have to run away! Just kidding, it's all cinematic. There's no time to lose. Come on, the airship's just up ahead. But I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, oh man, if there's a third part to this game, I was gonna freak out. Because I didn't even expect the second one. Come on, everybody, we can make it if we work together. Tara, what's wrong? The magicite. Magic is disappearing. Andrew says the Vespers are fading from the world. What'll happen to Tara? Come with me. I can use the last of my power to guide you out. We won. No, I love this game. Sometimes I think that people aren't capable of really even telling the truth about the stuff that they love, you know? Because the truth exists on a different level than all that. You know, what draws us to the works of art that mean the most to us, what makes our affections for them remain through the years. How much of ourselves do we put into the beauty that we find? You know, these are questions that we're invited to ask by certain works of art. And this one is that work of art to me. Son, could you hit that switch? Because we get these funny little vignettes on the way out. Mechanical devices are not my strong point. He looks all around it. Because remember, like, the tower is crumbling. We gotta get out of here. I do believe I'm getting better, though. Laughs. Setzer as Setzer Gabbiani. He flips a coin. And we go left. Wait! Whenever you think you're right, you're wrong. And that's a big mistake. That was what you always used to say, wasn't it, Daryl? Edgar Figaro. Zap and Figaro. The Princes of the Desert. Big heroes. me, the god for the kingdom. I needed it. That's why I went out to become stronger. And some of these scenes are different if you don't pick up everybody, because you can do like a 4-man Kefka or a 3-man one. It's a challenge. It's a major challenge, but it can be done. It's not really that bad. You just got to set up for each individual fight. Mog. Mog is Mog. Help me, Kupo. Mog's always falling down places. And Edgar's like, oh, I'll use these crane controls. And then hooks onto him, and he's like, hey! He's got angry little eyebrows about it. The fur, watch the fur. I'm not a stuffed animal, Kupo. And we have a hearty laugh about it. And then Umiro, who we didn't even use at all, but he's still part of the crew, you know. I'm glad he's in the game. You know, obviously it's cool that he's there. It's nice when there's a character where, you know, it's just like, hey, here's a cool thing. He's different than everybody else's. He doesn't work the way they do. It won't open. And it shows that he is capable of just, like, knocking down straight walls whenever he wants. What a champ. I'm like, thanks, Umiro. But, you know, you don't see the scenes from the people you don't pick up, and some of the ones are a little different, like, because the idea, right, is that Go-Go isn't even a person underneath all those robes. He's just like, he's just the hat. He's a sentient hat. No, nobody knows what's going on with Go-Go. Both buttons have to be pressed at the same time in exactly the same way. Go-Go mimics Celis. And then he just falls down and they leave him. You know, like, what a dark turn there, right? Like, he literally, they don't even look back for him. He just gets stuck again, like, just like when we found him. I like to think they tried to go back. Shortcut, take shortcut. Gets hit on the head. Shortcut, take shortcut. And throws Celis off the side of the mountain. Tower. And old Locke. Lockhorn. And my girl, Celis Share. And they play like the reprise of the opera music. So wonderful. Come on, this place is breaking apart. She's about to fall, and Locke jumps to save her. I won't let go. I promise. Which is, of course, in the past. Yeah, are you crazy? You almost got yourself to cover that? You know, that's how Rachel fell. But it was like, it was the bandana, so she had to get it, you know, it meant enough. And here. Oh, Tara Branford. Madman says Terra. This part now. Masters will disappear from this world. You may fade away as well, but perhaps if the human part of you feels something strong enough, then maybe. Just maybe you'll be able to remain here as a human. And all realm Arondi. The greatest artist in the world. And the greatest wizard too. And she showed right up and ripped Kefka a new one, dude. You know, this lock that fell and Realm stepped right up. Grandpa, you can't fall yet. Sorry, dear. Any more whining out of you and I'll paint your picture. Oh no, anything but that. But you know, someday I really would like to paint your portraits on grand canvas, Grandpa. Oh no, look what you've done. You made me go all misty-eyed. Now I can't see where I'm going. Shadow. As Shadow. The redos they do of the themes is so awesome here. It's just perfect. And Shadow's trying to go on, Interceptor, get going. Take care of yourself, boy. There, looks like I finally stopped running. See you soon, alright? Strego Magus. And Shadow, you know, there's a lot of better ways to go than that, Shadow. Come on, Strego, you can't let yourself be shut up by a bunch of kids. Climbs all the way up there. Gotcha! It proves that he's still a spry old man, right? And you. Follow me! The last piece of magicite. Terra, you've done enough. Your power's getting weaker. Terra's going to be able to hold on much longer. And he's like, hey, Setzer, now that I've pointed at you, you'll know that I don't want you to let her fall into the ocean. A rainbow dawning. And with Kefka overthrown, you know, there won't be anyone to break people's attempts to make things better. Because one of the nice things about the world of Final Fantasy VI, don't give up hope, Katarine, is that the reason everything is broken isn't inherent to the world, right? Beyond greed and callousness and hatred and cruelty, but there won't be anyone as bad as Kefka again. There won't be able to be. Not yet. Terra? Terra! They totally fool you, but she's fine. Laying down with her ponytail forward, just like when you find her. Thank you, Setzer. It's good flying. I told you, didn't I? She's the fastest ship in the world. And there you go. We did it. So, you know, everybody gets to do what they want. I like to imagine that Cyan keeps hanging out with Gao and eventually teaches him how to wear armor, but only like greaves, like only like shin armor is all Gao will ever do. And of course, now that Locke has found all the treasure in the world and slain all the dragons, he and Celis can settle down to a more peaceful life where they figure out if they actually get along or not. I like to think they do. And Edgar goes home to Figaro. Sabin goes back to Duncan and continues training martial arts, right? Because he wouldn't think that he has nothing more to learn. Strago and Rem go home. Briefly, until Realm sort of runs away to become an independent painter again. I mean, she killed Kefka. Is he really going to be like, you're not grown up enough to go to art school? Although she would be like the professor. And I like to think that Shadow, you know, goes back to become an arena champion, leaving Interceptor to guard his daughter, Realm. You know, he could never come to terms with who he was and what he'd done. And I like that, you know, not everybody needs to be able to do that. He did what he had to do to help out the people he cared about, and then when the weight of his, basically, psychological immaturity, for lack of a better way of doing it, you know, Shadow couldn't tell the truth because Shadow couldn't process who he was, you know. He could help people without telling the truth. But he found the truth of his life to be unbearable, and so he didn't want to share it with anybody. And I like that. Hey, the whistling has a credit all their own. That's awesome for the music. Gotta love that. I love this shot. This is one of my favorite shots in the game, right? I mean, it's remastered here, but this is still like how the credits were, you know? And with the birds flying around us, you know, because you see the land already coming back to the color and the shape, and the sky is proper blue again, right? The purple hellscape is going away, and it's like with Kefka gone, the poison that he rendered is immediately fading, and I like how it shows us that through here, right? And I like the idea that such a thing could be possible, because I'm shaped in a great way by Final Fantasy VI. My mistrust of technology as a tool for violence, sympathy for the little guy, my belief that people should be given a chance to process what they've done, and that they can be all the better for having done so. For showing me how hard despair can be, and that moving through it is not just good but necessary for however far you can go. Because even if Even if you're a lot like Shadow, you can still save the world first, right? He didn't leave anything undone. Although there was more out there for him. And then here, the theme, right? The theme. This is what you've waited the whole time for. Bum, 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 bum. And the children are very excited because that's exactly what the birth of a child is like. It's just like, oh yeah, that was comfy. Everyone's pumped up. Woo! But like, all right, the guy can wait in the other room while the little kids give her encouragement. That part's realistic. I'm being unfair. Barely. And she waves at him from the sky. And they're rebuilding the house. Soon there will be good places to play again. Oh yeah, they are raising the barn up. It's like in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. That barn is back up. It was a house there, but you know. And Edgar, like, tries to be like, hey, Celis, what's up? Celis moves away to stand by Locke, and then Realm, being hilarious, goes over there and is like, hey, what are we looking at? And he's like, oh, man, aw. And then Sabin's like, what are you doing? Let's look at it, bro. Let's go wave at Figaro. And Tara just takes her hair down and then, you know, feels it roll in the wind. The birds are flying very fast. They're flying faster than the wind and the airship. Unless there's not a wind and it's just the airship, in which case they're flying faster than the airship. Which is, we know, the fastest airship in the world. There were 2 of them, but this is the fastest one. They do make you go very quick over the world map in it, which is pretty funny. They're like, we don't want to seem like a liar. And now a little show off of the world. And look, the Phantom Forest, you know, no longer foggy. You know, the land there is cleansed. The Phantom Train, no longer shrouded in ugliness. And the sky is blue, you know. I like how steadily they communicate what a good job we did. And then there's Go-Go on the back. So we didn't just leave him, right? It just looks like we left him, but we didn't just leave him. Go-Go's on the back. To the fans across the world, past present, to the crew who brought the originals to life. We have profound and heartfelt thanks. Oh yeah, no problem, buddy. I guess me being a fan helped. I'll take it. The end. Save completed. Yes. Defeated Kefka and restored peace to the world. We did it! Alright, so that's Final Fantasy VI. My favorite game. It, I think, sets the standard for ensemble stuff, especially 30 years ago when it came, like 32 years ago, right, when it came out. I was a kid then, right? And I was more interested in playing this, and I loved this game more than just about everything. Not than anything, than everything. Like, all the stuff combined compared to this. I still find it very engaging. I love how good the items you get are eventually. I love how you go from the game's, normal, and then it gets quite hard in the World of Ruin depending on where you're going, and then how you start flexing your muscles and learning more about everything and getting it all done. I love going around and picking up everybody. I love the characters, Cells is my favorite, and basically all of them are at least a little interesting, even if they don't change that much. You don't need a character to change that much, It depends, but, you get a lot of growth out of a few of them in a very limited amount of dialogue, right? Because that's the thing. There's so many less words in this game than, I remember there being. In my head, there's these huge paragraphs of conversations between the characters as we're walking around, but I guess I wrote all that myself. But I'm really glad to have played it, and I've gotten my thoughts down, and now if anybody ever wants to see me play Final Fantasy VI, my favorite game, because, I can never replace it in the pantheon of favorites. It's not like I can't just reevaluate it at some point, it's already there, it's already the choice. It wouldn't even be meaningful for me to try to interact with it, except in the way that this has all been a way of trying to understand, if I can, a little bit more of why I love this game so much. But it's just that it was all of my dreams come true whenever I got it. And more than any other game I've played in my entire life, I dreamed of it, and then when I got it, it was everything I dreamed of. And the music's amazing, and the art's amazing, and the characters are so good, and the Esper system is awesome, and I love how free and open the world is. You get a bit of freedom and balance, but then in the World of Ruin, it's all freedom all the way. You can gauge by the difficulty whether or not you've bitten off more than you can chew. You can talk to people and find your way through, or you can just adventure in a direction. No two playthroughs of Final Fantasy VI are going to be the same, and I think that's super interesting, right? I love the idea of just seeing how other people process it, and where do you go once, do you go right back for Terra and try to get the Humbaba fight? Do you... what are the characters that stick out to a person? Because plenty of people, will have different experiences with it. One of my buddies that I wanted to play, he really likes Simon, which is great, because I like Simon. Most people, they just, don't care that much, because he's a very sad guy, and he stays sad the whole time, although he feels a little better, but, a great character. And Kefka, what a villain. What a villain. The villain by which I measure all villains, right? When someone's like, this guy's the worst, I'm like, well, how close did he get to ending existence? And did he used to be a regular guy before? Sometimes they're like, oh yeah, it's a cosmic thing, Dormammu, I'm here to bargain. I'm like, that's a little different. Kefka used to be a man, and then he decided he wanted to be something less and something more. And the warriors of light, we all came together out of the ashes of the world. And Celis found out she was strong enough all along. My girl. I like to think that her and Locke go back to the island and, adopt some kids, teach them how to fish. And that none of them has to worry about anything ever again. That's what I like to think. Anyway, here's Final Fantasy VI. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really hope you enjoyed. It's my favorite game, and It gets me every time. It gets me every time. Well, there you have it. When we come back, we'll be playing something, I don't know. The next JRPG on the list, probably Octopath Traveler, which is a game I haven't played, but I'm quite excited to do. I played Triangle Strategy, that's by that studio, and loved it. And, I've heard that Octopath Traveler is sort of, like a very, a modern and crunchier version while still staying true to, like, the feelings of this era of JRPG, so I'm excited to check that out. But I'm going to take a little break now. I really hope you guys have enjoyed. I know I did. The game is Final Fantasy VI. I recommend playing it for yourself. This Pixel Remaster is excellent. It smooths out a lot of things. I don't own it on SNES anymore. I did have the cart whenever I was a kid. Bought it in a pawn shop. Out there off the highway. The luckiest I've ever been. Anyway. Thank you guys. I'll see you later.